no matter what, there is always a ray of a hope in the end, like we are facing nowadays. We are facing that everybody is facing the challenge, that they all are suffering from it, but still we know this thing, that at the end everything will be fine one day, and soon this all will get over. Like the first two stanzas of the poem shows you pessimism of thoughts that nothing is good going on. Autumn season is here. It's very cruel. Trees are shedding leaves. Birds are migrating. No, even not even a single bird is chirping. But in the last stanza, the beautifully written, the poet invokes the god of May. That please God, he asked for the blessings of the God. Like in Carmel, we begin all the things, all the positivity of the day with the prayer. When are we in need? When are we desired for something? If you bow down in front of a God, he will definitely listens to you and bless you. If not in the way you ask, in some other way, but he will definitely listen. So he asked God that please bless all these withered bodies, means all these trees with the greenery, with the life again, and let their dead veins flow with blood again. Means please bring them life, means make them green again, bless them with the greenery again. Okay, so this is the poem, that when the autumn came, the poor when the autumn came, he just connected the autumn season with the poor people, with the tyrant, that like autumn is a very authoritative. When he came, all the trees withered their leaves and all. There is a physical phenomenal change in the environment. It becomes dry, gray. All the positivity in the environment dies in the season of autumn. But likewise, in the society, poor are exploited by the rich one. They are exploited by the stronger one, who are tyrant. Okay, so this is the summary of the poem When the Autumn Came by Faiz Ahmad. Faiz is a metaphoric personification of change having a huge impact on something near and dear to him. This is a revolutionary poem. Obviously, yes, he is invoking the dead bodies. He is invoking the exploited weaker sections, that please wake up. If you remember, you would have learned one poem in the 10th class by Faiz Ahmad Faiz. Speak up. Remember? Speak
Yes,
up
ma'am.
before the world will end. Speak up before your life comes to an end. बोल के लब आजाद है तेरे, बहुत फेमस पोएम है फैज अहमद फैज की, कभी सर्च करके पढ़ना. ही इज इन्वोकिंग द एक्सप्लॉइटेड वीकर सेक्शंस ऑफ द सोसाइटी, that please wake up. If not now, you will never. So here is the crux of the poem. Through this poem, the poet expresses his voice against the exploitation of the poor people. Okay, like I earlier told you, that this poem, surfacely, if you read this poem, it will give you an impression that the poet is talking about the autumn season and the cruelties and the physical phenomenal change in the environment. But actually, he is metaphorically comparing the autumn season to a tyrant who is exploiting the poor people, the laborers or the workers, by the rich or the capitalist class people. The rich people led a luxurious life at the cost of the poor people. Yes, obviously, the factory owner is always be seated in a AC room, AC air conditioned office. He is always having luxurious cars. But the workers who are working so hard there, they don't have even a two meal. Even they don't have that much money that they will purchase even a two times meal. They are working hard for the factory owner and he is earning the huge amount by exploiting the labor, by giving them more work, but he is not giving them the equal wages. The workers and the laborers work hard and get nothing, and the poor do nothing but looted everything from the poor, and the rich do nothing. Sorry, here it's a mistake. And the rich do nothing but the looted to the poor one. Obviously, he is working in the chimney. Poor worker is working in the chimney. He is picking up the trash. He is manufacturing all the products. And the rich one, just cause he is owning that plant, he just signed a deal and earn millions at the cost of poor people. The worker's voice is not in a position to protest against any exploitation. If you raise your voice that my salary is low, or you are not giving me salary, or there are some harsh conditions, your machines are not properly working, they will simply tell you, please leave. Like in the many and the none, I had taught you earlier, when the poor people ask the rich one about the issues related to their job, their working conditions, their pay. So the rich one will say, give them an easy excuse that your forefathers were earning less than you and we are giving you much, so be thankful for this. There in the 11th standard chapter, Many and the None, they clearly tell you that the rich one never visit their factory chimneys, their machineries. He visited once only when he inaugurated that factory. Then the machines were clean, all things are new. But who is suffering from that, the ugliness of the machines? The poor workers who have to bear with the loud noises, who have to bear with the mining, who have to bear with the fumes, toxic chemicals. But the rich one has nothing to do that. He's just making money. They bear everything silently. They are tolerating everything silently. Who? The poor workers. And do nothing against exploitation because they have to survive. Obviously, if you ask something about the exploitation, they will definitely throw you out of the job and then you will not get job easily. So for the survival, they are tolerating everything. The same condition happens with the trees with the coming of the autumn season. Trees are lifeless and their leaves turn yellow. The birds forget to sing merrily. Here, autumn represents the exploiter and the trees are being exploited. Therefore, the poet prays to the god of May to give back life of the lifeless to the lifeless trees, so that the trees get back their leaves and again the birds can sing merrily. With such expressions, the poet prays God to renew the life of the poor laborer with new life, with new hope, so that they can have a meaningful life. Their life should not more be dry. as dust and fresh blood should flow through their views. Obviously, he is asking for good things to happen. Say that no one should be exploited by anybody. He wants to see some young and energetic one. So the comprehension, the questions. The autumn season is characterized by few things. What are they? The things that are used to characterize autumn seasons in the poem are withered bodies, naked, the yellow leaves. Here we can read the poem and find it out where it is. Okay. So here. This is the way the autumn came to the trees. It stripped them down to the skin, left their ebony bodies. Ebony bodies. Here, it's a typing error. It's ebony bodies. Ebony bodies, naked, the yellow leaves, leaves scattered over the ground, a single mean, bird exiled from their song. They dropped into the dust. These withered bodies, dead views, these are few words and phrases which are used to show autumn season. Does the poet talk about all those characteristics? The poet talks about how with the coming of autumn season vegetation are affected, and the poet has attempted to compare the season of autumn with the capitalist class and the trees with the labor class people. Have you ever heard about the Karl Marxism? I hope that my art student must have heard about the name of Karl Marx and the Marxism,
Yes,
the Marxism
ma'am.
movement. He has given the idea of laissez-faire. Remember? According to the Karl Marx, the resources should be in the hand of laborers. He is a great supporter of socialism, but his socialism, like in India, it's a socialist society. All the resources are not private. India is not a complete socialist, not a complete capitalist. It's a blend. In China, it's communism. In some other countries like Russia, there is a socialism, and their socialism is like that. All the things like schools, hospitals, everything is under the government control, and the public sector is very strong. But here in India, after liberalization policy, earlier we were following that socialism only. But here in India, after liberalization policy, we and we allowed privatization to enter. And nowadays, you are observing the hazards of privatization. In schools, they are becoming way more than money hubs. They are no more an educational institutions. Likewise, nowadays, we were witnessing even the railways are under control, the private organizations. So class, labor class people, first time in the world, Karl Marx raised his voice against the labor class people. He said that labor class are also having some laws. Give them at least the handsome salary so that they can survive. All the resources should be in the hands of labor class people because they are the backbone of the society. He was the very firm supporter of the labor class people, Karl Marx. If you get time, please read about him. The above characteristics of autumn are the expressions of the pitiable conditions of the laborers and the working people. They are exploited by the capitalist class, that is the autumn season. So what is the impact of autumn on the trees? Can you please tell me what is the impact of the autumn on the trees? Please unmute quickly. Don't think that
Ma'am,
she
they
wants
Ma'am,
will
to.
during
lose.
during autumn seasons, trees lose their greenery and become dull and dry.
Yes. Autumn is the season of dry and dust. The leaves of the trees turned yellow and fall from the trees and scattered over the grounds. The trees are stripped down to the back. No birds can be seen on the trees. What happens to the birds when autumn comes? Please answer.
The birds stop singing.
Yeah, they stop singing, they exile, they migrate to some other place. They forgot to sing. They go away to far off places and drop into the dust even before hunters can aim at them. Why does the poet invoke the god of May? The poet invokes the god of May for his blessings to the withered trees so that they can get back their life. So, reference to the context is here. Here is the line: it shook out their hearts, the yellow leaves scattered from over the ground. Anyone could trample them out. Anyone, sorry, my throat is not well today. Please. Anyone could trample them out of shape, undisturbed by a single moan of protest. Who is it in the above mentioned line? It shook out their hearts. Who is it? Please answer.
Autumn season.
Autumn.
Yes. Whose yellow hearts did it shake out? Yes, please. Anybody can answer.
Trees.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
Yeah,
whose yellow leaves?
yellow leaves are the hearts of the trees, and autumn season shook them out. What happened to the leaves that are scattered on the ground? Anyone can trample
They
the leaves.
Ma'am, they are
Yes,
crushed
yes,
by
please.
the feet of.
Yeah, they can crushed by anyone easily, and they even can't protest. When will these withered trees bloom again? When the god of May will show mercy on them, these withered trees will bloom again. Give some tree the gift of green again, let one bird sing. What is the gift of green? Endow the trees with the life and make them green again. Who will receive it? The trees will receive it. What is the poet asking for when he says, let one bird sing? Please.
Ma'am, the poet is asking for the arrival of spring.
Yeah, for the arrival of the spring, for the gift of the green. What happened to the birds in the autumn? Please.
Ma'am, the birds stop singing in the autumn season because they are finding for the spring season to come again.
Okay, they migrate, they exile themselves to faraway places. Why do you think that the poet has personified the trees as the poor laborers? Please answer. Why do you think the poet has personified the trees as the poor laborers? Anyone? Please unmute.
ma'am, because they are being exploited by the higher classes.
The poet has personified the trees as the poor laborers and working class people, because who are the victims of the exploitation by the capitalist classes? That is the autumn season, because both are trees and labor class, both are exploited. Trees are exploited by the autumn season and the poor class is exploited by the capitalist class. So he personified autumn season with the capitalist class and the poor people with the laborer class. What condition of the tree during the autumn season does the poet forward? The poet forwards that during the autumn season the condition of the trees are pitiable. They are stripped down to the skin and their ebony body is naked. Their leaves turned yellow and all fall off all over the ground. No birds can be seen on the trees. How does the poet pray to the god of May? In the poem, when autumn came, the poet prays to the god of May to shower his blessings on the exploited trees. He prays to the god to revive the revolutionaries and rekindle the dead bodies. Okay. The poet prays to God of for life, regeneration. He prays for vegetation, full of life again. That is, he wants to see the trees with green leaves, with covered bodies, and he wants to see the birds again. Who do you think the god of May is? Please answer.
I'm the god of spring season.
Yes. Why will there be no single moan of protest? Because they are so weak that they have lost the voice of protest. Laborers, workers, they are having no resources. They are striving only for the 2 times meal. They have nothing to do with anything else. They are that much working like the bull of the cart ना, कोल्लू के बैल की तरह वो चल रहे होते हैं. उनका दिमाग कहीं और जाता ही नहीं है. वो सिर्फ दिन की दिहाड़ी के बारे में सोचते हैं कि कहीं से एक टाइम का खाना मिल जाए बस हमें. So they are that weak financially, emotionally, socially. They are deprived of education. That is why they lost their voice to protest. अब आप मुझे बताओ प्रोटेस्ट भी कौन बंदा करेगा? वही करेगा जिसके पास रिसोर्सेज पूरे हैं, जिसके पास बैक है. एक गरीब लेबरर है, उसके साथ कुछ बुरा होता है, he cannot pay the Supreme Court lawyer's fees, isn't it? So he can never thought of going to the court because he know कि जूते घस जाएंगे उसके कोर्ट में पेशियां लगाते लगाते. What is the significance of yellow in the description of the tree's leaves? The poet says yellow leaves, which signifies dull, lifeless, and weak, because lifeless and weak leaves, because leaves are murdered and matured and old. Explain with the reference to the context. I am giving you the explanation. You please add on the context to it. Okay, this is just the reference and the explanation. You need to add on the context. Please don't rely on this. This is just a help material. You need to make your notes by adding some more vocabulary, some more good lines, something creative from the thought process of yours only. Don't rely on the God. For 3 paragraphs, I have 3 explanations. So for today's class, it's over now. After the class, I will upload today this material in your Google Classroom. You please download and make sure that you will definitely go through it. And I want to ask you that those of you, if you know that they are not attending the classes via Google Classroom, please tell them to attend. It's quite easy to use. You are 100 and we are having only 24 in the class. This is really a shame for me. This is really disheartening. I'm working too hard. I'm preparing notes for you. And still you people are not coming to the class regularly. So those who are coming regularly, I appreciated you. We started with the positivity and we also end with the positivity, that I know that very soon the students will realize the seriousness that the exams are approaching and they need to cover their syllabus. So please ask your friend, request them to join the class regularly. So with this note, I'm going to leave now. So after the class, I will upload a feedback form in the Google Classroom. Please click